Alrighty, guys, what's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, my fighters? I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. You don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about The Walking Dead Season 11, Part 2 trailer discussion, theories, breakdown, just speculation, rumors, just a bunch of different stuff going around. We'll talk about Tales of the Walking Dead. Nothing for Fear of the Walking Dead, nothing for World Beyond, as that's done. Nothing for the Rick movies. But we're talking about a bunch of things there, and I'm glad you guys joined me this Sunday, and really every Sunday that we do a live stream. We talked about the Fight For Us book series last Sunday, which was always cool to talk about. We'll always talk about The Walking Dead, but it's always cool to talk about my book series because it's near, or book series. I don't know how you would say it, series plural, but it's definitely something that I'm excited to share with you guys. And Fight For Us is the original series. In 100 Days is Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. So it's kind of like The Walking Dead, Part 2, Part 3, for Season 11 at least. Not like the series at all, the story at all, besides the zombie apocalypse story. But Part 3 of In 100 Days will be out later this year. I have proofread the first 3 chapters. Then my wife's going to start doing her proofreading, and then I'll go over it again. I was coming up with ideas for the the cover and front and back, and it's going to be the third and final part of that series. So I'm excited to talk about that for sure. But hopefully you guys have checked out some football. If you're a football fan, what a crazy day yesterday, Saturday the 22nd. Today we have the Bucks and the Rams right here in Tampa Bay. And it's a little chilly here, but it's probably cold everywhere. If it's cold here in Tampa Bay and in Florida, it's cold everywhere. So, but ultimately, we're going to have the Rams playing the Bucks today, and then the late game is the Chiefs and the Bills. Who do you got? Who do you rooting for? Who do you think is going to make it to the Super Bowl? Well, I guess it's next week away from that. But ultimately, guys, The Walking Dead is pretty awesome. Last Sunday, we didn't have much to talk about The Walking Dead. What a difference a week makes, because the trailer came out. And I want to say that it was a good trailer, one of the better trailers. And The Walking Dead usually makes good trailers. And it's one of those things where they set up some good stuff in trailers. And I hope it's not all the good stuff and there's just the trailer and stuff makes it into the series. Second part looks fantastic. The first part was like the starter. All right, guys, we're coming with the Reapers and Maggie and this and the Negan stuff. And then the second part is going to be rolling more with the Commonwealth, and the Reapers will probably be, I would assume, taken out. But again, we'll get to that in the next 58 minutes because we'll talk about the trailer. Maggie is definitely involved. Negan, Daryl, Carol, Ezekiel's seen in it briefly. No Luke, no Oceanside. Some new characters. There's been a lot of speculation with that, which is awesome. Speculation is good. Now, I don't mind speculation and ideas and theories and breakdowns of things, but you can't call things stuff's definitely happened or explained and stuff's going to definitely happen in videos. At least I don't agree with it. But that's what sells views and everything on YouTube, because people want to have the information. They want to see the information. They want to get the inside information for what it is. The Walking Dead, I believe, still has 3 episodes left in season 11, the main series, and then it's over. They were recently filming this past Friday at Alexandria or around Alexandria, because we saw some signs going up on the side entrance, the back. It's not like the front entrance, the side entrance, and the picture in the front entrance is actually where Maggie, Daryl, and Jerry are in the thumbnail of this live stream. That's the front entrance of it, and that's where the Commonwealth will be coming down, as we saw in the trailer. And it's exciting to see what the story is going to be like, because we all know that the comic is the comic and the show is the show, and there's going to be differences. There already is differences. There's major differences. Certain characters are going to be different. They just have to be. Like Yumiko is probably going to take the Michonne story arc. So what does that mean with Magna? They're together in the comic, but they're not together now. Currently, Tommy, Bake Shop, it's just a lot of good stuff going around, and I'm excited to see where it goes too. So, Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, are you excited for I don't really play the video games at all, so not really excited. I'm not really that excited for the WWE stuff, really anything going on right now. There's really no big names or draws. Like, well, we may watch a little bit of the Royal Rumble this upcoming Sunday, but other than that, I don't really care too much about it. I mean, Charlotte Flair is good. Becky Lynch is good. Not a big Roman Reigns fan. a lot of the big name wrestlers are either in AEW or not wrestling anymore, in my opinion. So I'm just not sure, what how it's going to be with that. So ultimately, guys, The Walking Dead is... So I'm going to watch it probably on the weekend of the 13th because that's the Sunday before. So if we got... So not today, in a week, it'll be the 30th. So if this would load, there we go. 1, 2, 3 weeks away for the return of The Walking Dead on AMC Plus. 4 weeks away on AMC. And I'm definitely going to try to check it out on the 13th because if you have access to watch it on AMC Plus and you can watch it early, why not watch it, right? I know some people stay away from spoilers because they don't want to, be a part of it or know ahead of time, which is cool. And, I'm all for that. I don't mind. But, hey, check out the videos after you watch the episode. They're always going to be up on YouTube. You can watch stuff from previous seasons of The Walking Dead on here, too. And maybe you check it out and you see the top 10 lists and stuff that we break down and the weapons list or something or episodes or seasons. And, I probably would do a season... I guess a top 11 seasons once The Walking Dead ends, because you can't rank season 11 that high yet because it's only been a third of a season. But I would rank it higher than season 7, that's for sure right now, just because season 7 in my eyes is the worst, and season 6, I don't think anything is going to beat season 6 in my opinion. So seasons 6, 5, and 4 are really the best seasons, the peak of The Walking Dead in my opinion, and hopefully you check those out. And maybe we'll have to do a couple updated videos about like weapons and stuff and maybe characters overall, especially the characters that are on the show. So it's kind of cool. Wilson says asks Q&A, I noticed Negan didn't appear at the Commonwealth in the trailer. I'm convinced now he and Maggie will have another bust up, resulting in him leaving the group. So Negan's not seen in the trailer besides him fighting with Carver, I guess talking to Maggie. They're not really seen in the same scenes that we see them or we hear them talking, or we hear Negan talking and we think he's talking to Maggie. He's with a new woman that we don't know who it is, where they are. Is it a new group? Is it something to do with the Commonwealth? A different group? The outcast of the Commonwealth? It's just, too hard to tell right now. But Negan, I think, makes it to the Commonwealth at least probably in the third part because he was seen in downtown Sonoy filming around the location where they film certain scenes of, the Commonwealth angle, because it's not all at the studio. Some of it's going to be around the shops in Sonoy, and it's pretty cool to see. If you've ever been to Sonoy, and if you've been there recently, it's really expanded with new shops, new area, just new businesses around there, and they kind of use a lot of that stuff too. So Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I think he should definitely survive to the very end of the series, if not make it to his own spinoff. I don't want to see him have a comic death like Dwight or Rick. I want to see him have his own show. And speaking of Negan, there was a commercial with John Hamm. If you know the actor, it's like Hamm is his last name. He's in a bunch of different things. And I believe he auditioned for the role of Negan, and I think he would have been a great Negan. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a great Negan, besides him being too skinny, in my opinion. But John Hamm, I think, would have been a great Negan, because he's got that charisma, and I think he could have pulled it off. And he has the look of Negan, too. He's a little bigger guy, and not as skinny. Comic Negan is a little different thing, too. So Jeannie asks, Q&A of the games, etc. What exactly is considered canon for the TV show universe? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think anything, personally. I don't think, Clementine, the Telltale games, A New Frontier, that hasn't really been considered canon yet. I know Robert Kirkman said that Clementine won't appear on the show, but they say a lot of things and never say never and all that stuff too. Characters that are on the show, like Michonne, like even the comic is different than the Walking Dead show universe. I would say there's major differences for that too. There's characters that are just in the show and not in the comics. So to go with video games, I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know. There's a game called what's the game with Daryl and Merle in it? It's on PlayStation 3, I want to say. I'm not sure, or maybe PlayStation 4. I don't know what it's called, but I know Daryl has an uncle or something in that game. I've never played it myself. So yeah, it had to be Mad Men. He's in Mad Men. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, never say never. If they want to bring in Clementine, that'd be cool. But people aren't going to know who that character is unless they know the video games. And they're not going to know a lot of that stuff outside of, because the people that watch the show, a lot of them don't even read the comics, which is fine. You don't have to. They don't have to play the video games or read the comics to enjoy the show. Survival Instinct, thank you 236er. That's definitely something that is cool to sell more ideas, more games, more stuff, more merch, more, everything. But it's one of those things where I just don't know how they're connected to. So Negan once says Henry Rollins would have been the best. Negan, well, he tried out he auditioned to be Negan on the show because the comic reference for comic Negan is Henry Rollins. But Henry Rollins, I don't think, he has the look of Negan, but I don't know if they wanted to pull off, because Henry Rollins is a little too serious, I think, and Negan's kind of silly and over the top, and just, I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It's hard to not see that. I just wish Jeffrey Dean Morgan was a little heavier. That's all. That's all, too, so. Ecom, Q&A, do you think we'll learn anything about Michonne and Rick in the next part of Season 11? I don't know. I think it would be really hard for the show to not mention Rick or Michonne or the helicopter people, or CRM, Jadis, with Negan and Father Gabriel. Like, it'd be really tough for them to not, I don't know. It's tough to say what they're going to do with Michonne and Rick. Like, is it just going to be for the movies? Because it would be great to see them in the final season or the final part, episode 23 or probably 24. It wouldn't be the second to last. It'd be kind of cool to see that. But they're filming, I believe, episodes 22, 23, and 24, if it's in order, which I think would be right now. So if every episode takes 2 weeks, we're roughly 6 weeks away, which takes us into the end of February, would be the end of filming. There's been a lot of news about the walls coming down in, I think, the summer, if not April or so. It's coming down this year, before half of the year. So we'll have to see. When the walls start coming down, that's going to say a lot of stuff. And I'm sure people are going to get the pictures. People got a bunch of photos from the stuff being written on the outside of the walls with Alexandria, the future of Alexandria. So we'll have to see, what actually happens. When the walls start coming down, that's going to come down this year. It's going to be sad, but it's going to be part of it, that's going to be part of it, where I don't think that if the walls start when the walls start coming down, I don't think the Daryl and Carol show is going to go to Alexandria like that, because it doesn't fit. Like, how could they go down with the walls being taken down? I guess you could film in at different angles. Another big thing would be when the windmill comes down. Unless they go inside a couple buildings in Alexandria, like, you could film in a couple of the buildings and not have to mess with the wall. Like Daryl, they use like old footage of him riding in or something. They could get around it. But again, we'll have to see what's up with that story of the Daryl and Carol show. We still don't know. But we do have a little bit of information. I'm not sure. Jonathan Wilder asks, Q&A, did people do live in Alexandria before it came home of The Walking Dead? If that's the case, where they lived the past 10 years, they still live there. The Walking Dead doesn't film 24/7, 365 in Alexandria. There's a lot of homes for sale. There's a lot of people that they actually, I wouldn't say a lot, but people do live inside Alexandria. You can look it up. Some of those are, $1 million homes. You can buy them if you have enough money. But people have lived inside Alexandria when they film. When they film, they get a notice that they're going to be doing filming from this time to this time. Expect loud noises, simulated gunfire, or whatever they say too, and explosions or loud horns and sirens and everything. And so they, I'm pretty sure they get paid for the inconvenience of doing it. And people, they may leave the area, they may stay there and deal with the noises. They may, I don't know. I mean, I would like to have that person or people that live there to be interviewed to see what they say about it too, especially after The Walking Dead is done. because that'd be kind of cool to see. I'm sure there's a clause where they can't talk about it, but people do live inside Alexandria. And, when it's done, you can look it up. You can look up the homes there I know a couple were for sale, and they may still be for sale too. So Keon Johnson asks, what are your expectations for Lance Hornsby in part 2? Lance Hornsby. Well, I want to see, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Lance, I want to see be connected with the CRM, or Pamela Milton connected with the CRM. One of those two people need to be connected with the CRM, because it makes no sense for the CRM to not know about the Commonwealth, because it's a big group. Hopefully they worked out an arrangement. Maybe the Commonwealth gives the CRM some things, some people, some supplies or something, right? Because if they're in Ohio, we still don't know their exact location, but if they're in Ohio, and CRM is kind of all over the United States, not in Nebraska anymore, but if they're in New York or Pennsylvania or a couple spots, they're pretty much right there. And if you've seen the trailer and a couple of the promo photos that I've shared, they have, cars or trucks or vehicles that have the stuff over the windows and they're protected. So they need to have gasoline. We know that the CRM has gasoline. How do they not know about each other is my question, if it's not mentioned. I would love to see in the second part Major General Beale or somebody like that at the dinner or talking to Pamela Milton. You don't even have to see the person. You can see Pamela Milton goes into her office and says, "Thank you for joining me, Major General." Close the door. There you go. Oh, she knows Major General Beale. They know connected. That's all you have to do. If they want to set up some things for the future of The Walking Dead, connect with the CRM, because that's where it's going. The end of the show is rapidly approaching, but The Walking Dead is not ending, right? I think that it's going to be the movies are going to further explain the story or take the story in a different way. The spin-off or spin-offs. But I want to see Lance. Maybe he's like Victoria D says, he's the villain. He's actually the real villain of the CRM. He's doing stuff behind Pamela Milton's back. He's trying to overthrow Pamela Milton. He's trying to get rid of her. But he needs our group to do that. He's using Eugene to do that. He's already hinted at that. He's already said that too. So it's definitely something that I would like to see that as well too. But we'll see how it goes down. It'll be interesting one way or another. I hope it's rewarding, because this is it, guys. We got 16 episodes left. Just say that 16. So that's 16 episodes. That's a season left, because that's how long The Walking Dead is. 8 episodes. There at 8 episodes, right? So if we got 8 episodes in this part, I want to see the Reapers. I want that story to be done with. And then I want to move on to the Commonwealth. And I think that's it. I think we're going to go that way, right? So if the Reapers are definitely, the story's going to pick up most likely in 1109, the first episode back, with Leah, Carver, Maggie, Daryl, and there's enough pictures that we see Daryl's fine, Maggie's okay, Negan's there, Elijah. There's enough people still, so we know they're going to be okay. Just because it makes sense that they're important to the show. Leah is not as important as Maggie, Daryl, Carol, Negan, even Elijah, Father Gabriel. She's just not. So what's going to be the future of that? The big question here is, what is after The Walking Dead? We have to get to there first. But if it's not the CRM, I don't know what's the point of, to find out what happened to Rick and everything there too. And it would be really cool to see a lot of the story connect with the show, and maybe Rick comes around. But if he doesn't, I'm not going to be mad at it. My question to you guys is, what do you want to see the main episode story, the final episode, be of The Walking Dead? How does it end in your book? Does it really have a satisfying ending? Does it have to be Rick and or Michonne come around on there too? So, not really, Jonathan Wild. I really don't care about WWE right now. Brock versus Bobby dream match Don't really care too much about it. I'd rather see Brock wrestle anybody besides Roman Reigns, but if he's going to wrestle Bobby Lashley, that's fine. That's cool. I'm not really excited about it, but that's cool too. There's just nobody that really draws my interest that much to wrestling right now, and that's a shame because wrestling is pretty entertaining with the right people. And Drew McIntyre was kind of cool. I like Braun Strowman, but they got rid of him. I mean, it's just been a lot of the people that I liked they got rid of or released, or they've, like Certified G, I like them, but, with Enzo and everything, they just run into some problems. So we'll see. So let's talk about Tales of the Walking Dead before I get into other tangents. But Tales of the Walking Dead recently has just started filming on the 18th, so this past Tuesday. And there's a lot of people thinking and speculation about a certain cast member, or actor, I should say, that's back in Georgia, seen around some Walking Dead, I guess, directors. And they think that he's going to be the main focal point of one episode, probably the first episode, to draw you in. And he's kind of a focal point of the seasons before he got killed off. And I think that his name is Tyrese, and Chad Coleman was seen in the area. So Tyrese could set things off with The Walking Dead, Tales of the Walking Dead. And I think that would be a kind of cool story to see where he was. I don't know if we're going to see Sasha in that. That would be really cool too. Maybe she just does some voiceover work, but he's on his own. And it would be really cool to see where he was at the start of the zombie apocalypse. And I think it'd be a good episode. Again, Tales of the Walking Dead is supposedly the first season is only 6 episodes. And if we get a Tyrese episode, I haven't had much confirmation on if it's Lori's going to get her own episode. But if the best episode or the best character that we're going to see is Tyrese, that's kind of weak. Really weak, in my opinion. Like, I would rather see an Abraham Daniel Salazar episode from Fear the Walking Dead. I would love to see, I don't know. I would love to see, I don't even know what I would want to see that makes it interesting. Like, I don't want to see, if it's done right, maybe we could see 2 good no-name character episodes or, new character episodes. But I don't want to see, some couple go into a supermarket and run from walkers and run from this or run from saviors and doing this and doing that, and they get away and they end up getting killed, and that's the episode. And you're like, what did I just watch? This is stupid. If it doesn't fill in the gaps, fill in the plots, fill in the plot holes, explain things more, further explain things, give us a little more explanation of things, the episode's going to be a waste of time. We've already had enough stuff on Fear the Walking Dead and World Beyond that felt kind of like a waste of time. So we don't need any more shows that are a waste of time. I don't know if they're trying to get viewers back. Like, hey guys, remember Tyrese? He's back. Check it out. If they bring Glenn back for an episode, that would be amazing. I think that would do well. But again, I'm not in charge of writing for the AMC production of Tales of the Walking Dead or Walking Dead in general. I think that it's a way to draw people back in, but also have another thing to further the Walking Dead franchise over the summer, because it's a summer show. And I would assume that it's going to be probably airing in July, if not late June, early July is my best guess, because The Walking Dead Season 11 Part 2 is going to go from February to April, because you got February, March, April, 8 weeks, 8 episodes, so it's 2 months. And then you're going to have Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, April, May, June. So, it takes us into the middle part of June. Maybe it's a week or 2, and then the first episode airs, or they just wait for July. And if it's 6 episodes, 6 weeks, so that would be like all of July, 2 weeks into August, and then The Walking Dead, I'm assuming, is going to be in August or October. So just based on the timeline, I would assume it's going to be around that time. Just best guesstimate of things too. So, but yeah, Tales of the Walking Dead could be interesting. It could be crappy. It could be dumb. It could be a waste of time. And we're kind of getting to the point now, at least I am, and a lot of people are, where they're like, just wrap it up already. It's like, don't prolong anything. They've already done that enough where you love to stretch it out and prolong it and stretch it out. But now we know that these are the final episodes. These are the final 16 episodes. The Commonwealth angle's got to... Because what shows typically do is we see a character from start to finish, but we're not going to see that with Rick. Rick's the starter. Morgan was involved with the starting episodes, and neither of them are on the show. Daryl, he wasn't a big name character until... And he was, but he wasn't, and he's had to take over the show, which is great. But Michonne's gone. So you have Daryl, Carol, and Maggie that have been around since season 2. Well, season 1 and season 2. And a bunch of characters from later on. So it's going to be weird that we're going to see characters that aren't really... Because when you have the characters that start and finish, it's like Tony Soprano. He started the show, ended the show. Seinfeld started the show, ended the show. The Friends cast started the show, ended the show. Breaking Bad started the show. Walter White, Jesse Pinkman, end the show. Like, that's just kind of what happens. Now, what I don't want to see, though, is I don't want to see that it doesn't feel like an ending. Like the World Beyond ending series finale just felt like a season finale. And it's like, but what's next for these people? And Robert Kirkman started writing The Walking Dead because he wanted to see, because I said it before, and it's a great idea and a reason to write something, is that I do like the idea of zombie apocalypse shows and movies continuing on and explaining the story after they get to the island or after they get to the place where they're supposed to be. Like, so many movies end with them getting to an island and that's it. Or they get to a safe zone and that's it. Or they all die and that's it. Like, somebody has to survive, right? Or is that the way it ends? Everybody lives, everybody dies, or some people get away too. So, Ecom Q&A, what was Maggie's comic story? I haven't read the comics, but doesn't Maggie become the leader of the Commonwealth? Will the show stick to that? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the show's going to do with Maggie. I mean, Maggie's story, it can end with... I personally would like her to see running Hilltop, like they rebuild Hilltop, and then she just stays there. I don't know if the Commonwealth's going to fall, if the Miltons are going to remain in power, or stuff breaks down and they escape, or Pamela Milton is killed off, or Lance Hornsby is killed off. But we all know that Sebastian is going to be terrible. Sebastian is going to cause some problems. I don't want to see the comic angle with Sebastian. Well, Rick's not there, but who's that go to? Aaron, Father Gabriel, Negan. You know, I don't want to see that at all. So it's definitely something that I want to see involved, be portrayed in an exciting manner. It doesn't have to be the same thing. I don't need to see an exact replica of the comic for the show, and vice versa. Mike Allen asks, Q&A, what group would be in Rick's Governors, Hilltop, Kingdom, or Saviors? What group would you be in? Rick's, Governors, Hilltop, Kingdom, or Saviors? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in the Saviors because Negan is a dictator, and I really wouldn't be okay with that. Hilltop, I mean, is Maggie running it or Gregory? Because Gregory was terrible. I wouldn't mind, being there. Governors was basically the same thing like the Saviors. I guess Alexandria is Rick's place. I guess Alexandria or the Kingdom, because you have a little more like freedom there. So yeah, I guess Alexandria, Hilltop, or Kingdom. But I guess you could have said Oceanside. You could have said the Whisperers. But yeah, it's tough to say. I would love to go between all three. Rick's. So Alexandria, Hilltop, or Kingdom would be my choice. I know that's not it's kind of a cop-out answer, but I don't know. What would you guys pick? Beverly Whitty asks, do you think Negan will die shaving Herschel? Saving Herschel? I don't know. I mean, do we really need Negan to be more of the redemption story? He's already done that. He already helped and saved Judith and Dog. He's already helped our group in a bunch of different ways. He's helped try to save Alden. He's basically helped Maggie. You know, he's gonna help take out Carver. I mean, do we need him to save Herschel? Sure, why not? I mean, I don't need it, but if they want to make it overkill and really push the boundary to be like, look, Maggie, your mortal enemy saved your son. I mean, do we need to go that route? Maybe. Beverly asks, have you seen The Walking Dead World Beyond? What did you think of it? I've seen it. I've seen every episode of The Walking Dead universe on shows, Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond. And World Beyond Season 1 was good in the last 4 episodes, and then the same thing with the show. So the series really should have been 1 season of 10 episodes. And so the last 4, so that was 8 episodes. Could give you a 10 for a little more story of it. So it should have been 1 season, but they stretched it out again. At least it wasn't like 3 seasons or 4 seasons of crap that we would have got the same amount of story, the same amount of character development. Jadis coming around was kind of cool, but there was just nothing of significance on there as well. So, Rob K asks, have you seen the trailer for the new zombie show, All of Us Are Dead? Is that the Korean show or the Korean movie, Rob K? With, that's dubbed, and they're like, the zombies are like cracking and being crazy and being fast and running around. And, if that's what it is, I've seen it, and I don't know, it's just a little too much. I think it's at the school, I think is what it was too, like the zombies are at a school and stuff. But it's a little too much non-speaking English for me, where it's just reading subtitles. I can get away with that if the story's kind of good. Like I forget what that one movie was. I believe it was a Korean movie as well, that they were in an apartment complex. That it was dubbed over, I want to say. I'm pretty sure it was dubbed over. And the guy was, playing video games, and they lost power, and then they sent things across the way from the condo complexes. And I enjoyed that movie, and I was like, or Train to Busan was kind of something that I thought was cool. I'd never even seen Peninsula yet, but I'm not sure if anybody saw that. But I don't know. I'll probably have to check it out. There's definitely a lot of Korean movies on Netflix, and it's kind of cool. Alive, yeah, that's what it was, Danielle. Alive, that was pretty good. I thought that was a good movie. If you haven't seen that on Netflix, if it's still there, I would assume it's still there. But Ada B says the TWD should have covered what the French scene covered. So you think the World Beyond should have? The World Beyond TWB should have covered the French scene. So the walkers, the cohort walkers, the new and improved walkers, and there's been a lot of talk of that online. So thank you, Lindsay. Alive was the movie for that, and Danielle, thank you. But yeah, I don't know. The World Beyond could have done anything they want to do, but instead they went with Hope and Iris and the kids, and we need this kid drama to go here, to go there. Like did they think, what we're going to have? We need an audience of teenagers to watch this, and let's bring these kids in, and maybe we'll have people to watch it. When I'm pretty sure the only people watching Fear the Walking Dead and World Beyond are hardcore Walking Dead fans. I know a lot of people that have never watched Fear the Walking Dead, but they still watch Walking Dead. And I get it. And I'm sure people didn't watch World Beyond. It's like, it's definitely something that I get. If there's too many shows, too much spinoffs, too much crap, it's already enough, right? Enough already. There's already enough shows, enough stuff to keep up with, that we don't need more spinoffs of this stuff. I get it why people aren't watching the show as much, but I'm invested in it. And I don't want, we all can agree if you watch Game of Thrones, we don't want a Game of Thrones ending. We don't want a World Beyond ending. Like, it's an ending, but it's not an ending. Like, with an ending, you need it to be a satisfying thing where, like, it doesn't have to be a true ending. Like, and everybody survives. Boop, close the book. Judith is reading the story to her kids by a campfire. Maybe. Do we get that? But then how does it connect with the Rick movies? Like, there's too much stuff left after the show. Like when The Sopranos ended, there wasn't, oh, we're going to have the AJ show or the Meadow show or, whoever survives, we're going to have that. We're not going to have that stuff. It took so many years later to get The Many Saints of Newark. That's a prequel. That's a story before the story that we watched on the show. So the ending was. The show turned black and the screen went black and it went blank and that was it. And you're like, okay, did he die? Is he alive? And it's debated what happened if you watch The Sopranos. But it wasn't like, yes, the story goes on. Even though Journey's playing, Don't Stop Believing. It's the last episode, but it felt like a last episode. And I don't want it to feel incomplete. You can have, I don't know. It's probably really tough to have things that end. Like a series finale. It's got to be really tough. And yet I haven't watched Dexter yet, but I know a lot of people didn't like the initial ending and they didn't like the most recent ending. And I don't know anything about it, so I don't there too, so. So Ethan asks, Q&A, when The Walking Dead end, are we going to watch only Tales of the Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead? Boring. Well, it's Tales of the Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, the Daryl and Carol show, and hopefully, supposedly, potentially, possibly, hopefully, the Rick movies. And then if we're going to get another spin-off or whatever they're going to do there too. But I don't know. It's a good question. It's definitely a good question. So, yeah, I mean, like Ecom says, I've been invested in The Walking Dead since the start. Gotta finish it, and I think Angela Kang did a great job saving it from Scott Gimple's screw up. Yeah, I mean, I agree the same way across the board. I mean, Gimple's ideas as of late, towards the end of his showrunner ability, were not the best. Was not the best idea to continue with the show. But again, it goes to show you guys that it's not all about the show. It's not all about the fans. It's not all about the story. It's about money, budget, productivity, efficiency, making sure stuff gets done in a timely manner. And, that had to play into effects on the decisions, I'm guessing. There was really no reason to kill off Carl. Like, there really wasn't. But life goes on, the show goes on, and I wasn't even the biggest Chandler Riggs Carl fan, and I'm still not. But it didn't make any sense. He was raised in the zombie apocalypse, basically. He goes out and saves Sadiq and gets bit in the process. And you're like, what are you doing, man? It doesn't make sense, right? It's just so kind of dumb. Yeah, B from O, Q&A. Hey, PT, you kind of answered my question on one of your last videos about the thing, Rosita Magna conversation in the past and the part 2 trailer, but I'm thinking the city could be Sanctuary. Your thoughts on the tie-in, So B from O asked me a question about Magna and Rosita's conversation about Magna talks about the city, that it was kind of like the way it was before, and I think it's just a generalization. I don't think Magna is talking about an exact location because Magna doesn't know Rosita before all this. Magna was with her own group. She doesn't know Rosita. Maybe she did. I doubt it, but she didn't know any Rosita before all this. So when she came in, it was already done after the war. It was season 9. So, a major time jump. So I think they're just talking about the Commonwealth is like a city classes, people, you have status, you have basically your upper class, your middle class, your lower class. People have perks. Status gets you a lot of good stuff and the stuff. The politicians know that. And that's why they're heavy on the auditing, the questioning, what did you do before? And I think it's going to tie into, we can all agree after watching this, right? The Commonwealth is about people at a higher status have better things. Lance Hornsby, Pamela Milton, Sebastian Milton had a bunch of security guards going on a date with some chick, right? That's not a zombie apocalypse thing. That is a pretentious, upper class, privileged thing. It's a zombie. People have that now, but in the zombie apocalypse, that's ridiculous, right? So you're going to take resources, people, private security out so you can make out at a picnic? Like, come on, right? It doesn't make sense. So I think the thing is, Yumiko and Magna were together. They're not together. Yumiko is going to have status because she's a lawyer or was a lawyer. I doubt her bar status. I mean, I don't know if you got to renew that every so many years, but it's been 10 years into the zombie apocalypse. But either way, she's a lawyer. Her brother, Tommy, has status there. They got in because Tommy, they're going to probably find out. I wonder if Tommy's going to get in trouble because he's a surgeon and he hasn't been a surgeon at all there at the Commonwealth. Maybe they let it go because he can still help them. But Magna, Yumiko's ex-girlfriend, is not going to have status. She was a waitress before all this at a truck stop. So she's going to be a waitress or a caterer or, food services at the Commonwealth. Yumiko is going to be, around the governor and being around higher falutin status people. She's a highly educated, important person, a lawyer. And her girlfriend's going to be the lower status. So it's upper class, higher status. And they were alluding to that in the first half the first part with Daryl looking at the crowns, the mural, the walkers and the people fighting over stuff. Money, the guy with the briefcase. You get to see all that. I still want to know what's up with the Polaroid, if we're ever going to see that person again or if it's something to do with that. But, I don't know. There's a lot of filler. That stuff doesn't come about. And so I think that's where it's going. You're going to see. So I wonder who's going to be like on Team Commonwealth besides Yumiko, right? Because we know that Eugene, Princess, probably Ezekiel I think Ezekiel would be on the Commonwealth side too. So if we have Eugene and Princess on trying to find Stephanie and on go against the Commonwealth side. And then you have Daryl, who's going to go against the Commonwealth. Rosita is probably going to be a Commonwealth soldier, so she's going to be on the Commonwealth side. Is Father Gabriel going to be against? So is it going to be a civil war again? So you have Father Gabriel on one side, Rosita on the other, Yumiko, Magna. Is Carol going to buy into the Commonwealth? Or is she going to be, doing her survival thing, which I think we all think she's going to do? I really hope she has words with Sebastian, or somebody has to at least have words with Sebastian, right? It's just, Sebastian needs to be put in his place, and it either has to be Negan or Carol that have to do it, right? So I think it's just going to be a bunch of people at odds with each other. Well, this place is actually really good. Well, you don't know what they're doing. They're actually having outcasts. So are the people that, I'm guessing Eugene, maybe Negan, Maggie, Daryl, Aaron, Father Gabriel meet outside of the Commonwealth. Either they were going to be executed and they got away, or they never made it in, they were kicked out, whatever. Something's got to happen with that. Something's got to happen with the fake Stephanie, or the fake Stephanie, so Stephanie. The real Stephanie angle, what's going to happen there? Eugene's going to get in trouble again. Eugene has made the missing persons thing for Stephanie Vega. So we'll have to see where it goes. How does Mercer fit in? Because Mercer ends up with Princess, or at least they hook up in the comics. Is Mercer tired of the Miltons and Sebastian? He's like, I've been looking for a way out for years, but it's tough to, it's tough. I don't know. So we'll have to see. It's a lot of questions. And again, this is only the second of 3 parts. So this is I don't know if there's going to be climax of things, because if it starts with like the start, the middle, and end, the beginning, middle, and end, the peak to the climax, which could be around episode 12, I guess, 13, and then the ending, the resolution to it, part 3. Do you think Aaron will get kicked out because of his arm? I don't think so. I mean, why? Maybe, but I don't think so. Aaron had a job before all this. I don't think you should. I mean, they could. They could be like, oh, you got bit. Ew. Like they could be, and they probably will be pretentious like that too. But I think Ezekiel's going to fit in. But again, we'll have to see. Alexander Romero Q&A, could you see the CRM feel threatened by the Commonwealth like Portland and send a column of zombies through the Commonwealth? Yes and no. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think the Commonwealth will rely on the CRM. I think they'll be self-sufficient, and I think they'll work out a trade thing. Like I think that if it's not answered, part of my French is total crap about the CRM Commonwealth connection. Right? Are we really supposed to believe that they don't know about each other? And CRM is very part of the Walking Dead universe, so why wouldn't it be answered? So I think the CRM has to be getting something from like a payoff. You're getting, I don't know, a handout or I don't know what you want to call it, under the table pay that's saying, hey, you don't mess with us? Take this. Take these people. I don't know. Kawaii Cutie? Or cute? Kawaii Cute? Hi, Brian. What do you think it could be Alden's fate? Well, I thought it was going to be answered in the first part. But I don't know, because Alden's not in the trailer. So I would assume we get to find out his fate. But I think he's going to be killed off because we have to lose characters, right? Now, was he put into that church by himself because of COVID? Because of traveling things, or he only had so much time to film and he had to go do something else or go away? Was it story driven? Did they forget about him? Is it another plot hole? Like the writers were like, okay, Alden's going to go here. And then we're like, on to the next. I'm like, oh crap, what about Alden? And we forgot about him, right? And we don't see him again until the 3rd part because they forgot about him. I personally think he's going to be killed off because we have to lose characters. Like The Walking Dead, we've lost characters every season. And it would be uncharacteristically uncharacteristic for The Walking Dead to not kill off characters every season. Alden seems like a character that we could get killed off too. So it makes sense. But I think that it makes sense for it to be just done in a way. And so the writers they decided to end the show. I don't know whose brilliant idea was to have season 11 be the final season and for it to be, 3 parts instead of 2, instead of having season 11 and season 12. Was it the windmill permits? Was it the border walls around Alexandria that they couldn't get it for another year? Would we only have gotten half a season anyway? Was it going to be season 11 and then 8 more episodes, so 11 and a half seasons instead of a full 12? So they were like, let's tie it in there too. Because season 10 was extended, we got the extra episodes, which was like 2 good episodes of that. And the rest was filler. But season 11 is 24 episodes. But again, guys, the show is the show, and we get what we get, and it's, we're all we're all definitely invested in it. If you're not invested in the show, you wouldn't be in this live stream for sure. But it's a cool topic to talk about it, and I'm glad we still have the rest of the year to talk about it, right? And I know it sounds like it's ending, because it is. But what if it ends, and then Fear the Walking Dead becomes the main show, but it really does a better job, in my opinion, because I don't think Fear the Walking Dead is the best show. But how would you have, like, Fear the Walking Dead showrunners, and then, like, well, The Walking Dead's over, who would run the show? Is it still the Fear the Walking Dead showrunners? Because if they're making the decisions, they made some pretty poor decisions, in my opinion, over the course since they took over. I mean, we were at the end of this year, we'll have 7 seasons done and probably half of season 8, so 7.5 seasons. And season 7's okay, but season 6 was great. Season 3 was all right. Season 2 had half a good season. The second half of season 2 was better than the first half. But we'll have to see about what happens. And there's some, man, what'd they say? What'd you guys say? What did Akuma K86 say about Angela Kang? See, this show got so boring when Kang came on. It's ridiculous. I've been there from the beginning. She's a terrible writer for the show, yet they keep her on. Why? Well, Angela Kang doesn't write all the shows, and Gimple didn't write all the episodes. They don't write all the episodes. They just oversee stuff and make the final call for stuff. But I think Angela Kang has done a good job. Like, I wouldn't say Angela Kang. I mean, Gimple was the showrunner from season 4 to season 8. I think Angela Kang took over in season 9, 10, and 11. So seasons 4, 5, and 6 of Gimple were great, and they were really some of the best seasons. But season 7 was terrible. Season 8 made some terrible decisions. Season 9, a lot of characters were leaving. Season 10, even more characters left. So, Jay Twin on tour. Is it true Carol died? I can't see for myself, but question mark. Jay, where did you see or hear or read that Carol died? Because Carol, Carol's she hasn't died yet. She's still in the second part, and the third part she was seen filming, kind of recently. But no, Carol can't die. Carol's got plot armor like Daryl. And also, Melissa McBride, I don't know if you guys know this, but she didn't have to audition to be Carol. She was basically given the part. Because Frank Darabont had her in the Mist movie and liked her a lot. And it's a small role for her. But I guess he was like, yep, that's our Carol. That's who I want to be my Carol, Melissa McBride. And she was supposed to die in season 3 instead of T-Dog. But luckily they changed that and wrote it out that Carol survived and T-Dog ended up dying. Even though I did like T-Dog. But Carol was Carol, It's like saying, well, that Alexandria or Rick. Well, it's not, because T-Dog was there for 3. It was 2 seasons first, and it would have been cool to see where that character went. But Carol's, very important too, so. So Jay, Twin on tour, let me know where you heard that, because this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, there's going to be so much speculation, and you can't buy into it. You can't buy into all this crap with people saying, yeah, this happened, that happened. I don't want to say bald character, but like the buzz cut character, I'm guessing it's a woman. It's hard to tell, but if it's a woman, is it Ava from A New Frontier? Confirmed. Ava's going to be in the show, and confirmed. Clementine's coming. Confirmed. This is that. No, maybe they have confirmed information, but I doubt it. There's a lot of information going around, and I haven't heard anything yet. But again, that's what people do and they say a lot of stuff. People say a lot of stuff to get views and have that in the titles and the thumbnails, and they're like, you could put a picture up like, Rick's back, here he is, confirmed. It's going to get a lot of views. But it doesn't mean it's legit. And people don't care. People just want you to watch the videos. They're going to say some crazy outlandish stuff. And I get why people do it, but I don't want to be that way. I want to be thought of as a a person that's not messing with you and, legit has good quality, legit good information, theories, speculation, breakdowns, discussion topics. So, JJ Q&A. Who do you think the real Stephanie truly is and why she hid her identity? Because there's some shady stuff going around. But what are the odds that Stephanie, the real Stephanie, on the radio found Eugene by chance, or was it by design, and sent him on a goose chase to come to the Commonwealth with two people? They find Princess, who's trustworthy enough to travel with. They go to the Commonwealth, or the train tracks, pass the tests. Yumiko, who was one of many people in the group to go, she could have stayed back at Alexandria, but by chance, she wanted to go with Eugene, and she finds her brother that never really was mentioned before or anything like that too. It should have been a thing that you should have mentioned that before. Like if it's a small little mention, or maybe she did, I don't remember. But either way, if it was, it should have been more of a mention to highlight things and foreshadow it. And The Walking Dead used to do stuff like that. They used to have stuff that's going to be explained later. But now it just kind of feels like, oh, well, we need a story for this. Let's do this so that connects and that makes sense. Let's do that because we already painted ourselves in a corner, so we have to do this. Let's do that, right? And I never really felt that way in the first 6 seasons. And maybe if I went back and watched it, it would be that way too. Like Randall's group, who was that? We still don't know certain things. And it's okay. We don't need to know every little thing. But we kind of do want to know everything, right? So it's definitely something that it's kind of a cool thing to see. Beverly asks, do you think Gracie will die? I don't know. I mean, that's a question. Some people are saying that Gracie's going to die and it's going to set Aaron down a cold, dark path, because when he's walking in the hallway, what Ezekiel says, and also the red light that's there. And I know people agree, graciously disagree, or adamantly disagree, loud and proud, and say, your red theory sucks. I never agreed with the red theory. And it's not a red clothing theory. It's the red color theory. Clothings, objects, lights, hydrants, whatever. There's a bunch of things. The symbolism is there. We've seen it since season 1. It's come around for a lot of different episodes and a lot of different stuff. The foreshadowing, the warning, the symbolism, it's definitely there. But I think we have to lose some characters. Aaron could be a character that we lose. If we lose characters, they have to be meaningful. Like if we lose an unknown, like we lost basically all of Maggie's group, except for Elijah. And does anybody care? Does anybody care about Agatha? Does anybody care about the other people? Not really. Nobody cares about those people because there's not really enough character development. And it's kind of sad. They seem like pretty cool characters, but they were there to fill in the gaps because we already lost people in the first 8 episodes. We should probably lose more people in the second 8 episodes. And we should definitely lose people in the third 8 episodes. It just happens. It's all right. Like Negan once said, red means dead. Red shirt. Star Trek. It's just a thing. It's a thing. Look it up. Symbolism. Colors. I buy into it, that's for sure. And again, it's just a theory. And not everybody's going to buy into the theory. And they're like, well, you could pick any color, man. Orange, green, blue, yellow. No, they have their own other symbolism. That's what that means. But it's just hilarious. And it's always funny if you want to make a video and just rile people up. Just make the red theory. And be like, oh, I can't believe he's making a red theory. Just like, relax, man. There's just so many other things to worry about. If you get to see what people actually have to deal with day in and day out, it's laughable what people get mad about. People get mad over everything, even the stupid, smallest things. It's like, come on, man. Open up your eyes. But perception is reality, and people are so hyper-focused on things, it's hilarious. Last couple questions here, guys, and then I'm done with my hour. Alexander Romero, Q&A. Do you think most of the population has been walled off from the real world and never killed a zombie? It's weird to know that the survivors were given the short end of survival. No, I think most of the survival of the population is actually killed off as walkers. I mean, if you do the math, it's 1 million walkers to 1 survivor. Majority of the population is a walker. Or they should be. But again, we still meet people all the time in the Walking Dead universe. JJ Q&A, who is supposed to be the next big villain for the second season? What's the comics say and which direction you think the show will go that will lead to Rick's movies and Daryl's spinoff? The comic doesn't really have that big of a villain after the Whisperer War. It doesn't really have a thing. It kind of goes just the way of politics, has the way to do with the Commonwealth people. Sebastian is definitely a villain. Lance is a different character in the comics. But it's kind of like, I guess the Miltons, the people in power at the Commonwealth are more of the villains than anything. I mean, Sherry is kind of a villain, but that doesn't come around. She's on Fear the Walking Dead, so because she runs the Saviors after the war, so it's not a thing. So we're not going to see that. Victoria D, last question. Do you think the woman who appears with Negan is related to Elijah? Because I see no other reason for Elijah to be alive. That's a great question, Victoria D. I don't know. I mean, if they really want to fill in the gaps with it, they will make her Elijah's aunt or somebody. Like, they will do that. But Elijah hasn't had enough story for us to really care that much about it. But, yeah, I mean, unless she's connected with the Commonwealth, CRM, Michonne's people that she met, Rick or something, again, that's a good point. Like, why bring these characters around? But we'll have to see, too. And Finn, Q&A, do you think we'll see Rick in the final episode? I do not think so, but I hope so. And I hope we do actually see him on the show. But that remains to be seen. So thank you, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Super chats, top chats are always welcome. We always appreciate all that. Become a patron, a member, a subscriber. And remember, guys, with hard work and dedication and belief and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, and making memories. Enjoy the football if you are watching today. Bucks, Rams, Bills, Chiefs. Who you got? I'll be back next Sunday. See you guys and see ya.